Welcome to Rewiring Health. If you're a high-achieving woman feeling trapped in the endless cycle of guilt and exhaustion from always putting others first, then this is your sanctuary. I'm Dr. Kelly Kessler, your dedicated empowerment mentor, and I'm here to tell you that it's time to reclaim your peace, health, and happiness. Imagine waking up every day feeling energized and unapologetically living for yourself. Together, we'll break down the walls that have been holding you back and unlock the vibrant, unstoppable force that you truly are. It's time to put yourself first, embrace your authentic self, and live a life that's not just endured, but celebrated. Now let's dive in. Have you ever noticed your skin reflects your stress? I used to struggle with mine, dry, dull, reactive, until I started pairing nervous system regulation with products that actually honor your body. That's why I love Milk and Butterflies. They handcraft every formula with 100% organic ingredients and powerful aromatherapy oils. They aren't just products for your skin, they're rituals that restore hydration, resilience, and calm even in the busiest seasons of our life. You can try them for yourself and feel the difference. Head to Milk and Butterflies and use my promo code Dr. Kelly for free shipping. That's DRKELLY for free shipping. Also, check out the link in the description for the podcast.
We've been programmed to seek answers outward, but yet the truth and the power resides within us. And that is why I'm so honored to have Anna Finck on the podcast today. She shares how curiosity of seeking answers inward allowed her to reclaim her health and attract abundance into her life. Anna Finck is a wellness architect and lifestyle designer who is pioneering an innovative path in the wellness space. She has created a body of work called Embodied Wellness, designed to transform the body, mind, and soul. Embodied wellness is both science and spirituality, art and alchemy. After stepping away from medical school due to personal and family health crises, Anna committed herself to an unconventional, long-term, complex study of wellness. She has healed from her own hormonal imbalances, digestive issues, and reproductive health conditions naturally, despite the odds and lack of evidence. Anna coined the term preconception era to describe the sacred, often overlooked phase of a woman's life, the time before conception when she prepares physically, energetically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to become the woman and mother she's designed to be. Anna is devoted to supporting women in connecting to their bodies, reclaiming their health, reclaiming their power, and realizing their potential. Anna's energy is palpable, and I'm so grateful for everything she shared, really diving into the power that we have to transform our wealth and transform our health.
All right, so I am so honored to have Anna Finck on the podcast today. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Kelly, for allowing me to come on your podcast today. It's an honor.
Yes, absolutely. And so, as you heard in the bio that, played before this, you learned a little bit about Anna, but I would love to hear from you. Tell me a little bit about your backstory and what brought you to where you are today and the people that you serve.
Absolutely. So it all comes back to my own journey. And I was on the path to become a medical doctor for as long as I can remember, really since 5 years old. I feel like that really stemmed when my little brother died when I was 4, and he died during childbirth. He tied a knot on the umbilical cord, and it just left an impression on me. Like, this isn't normal. What's going on? There's a lot of pain. And I started to go into people pleaser and fixing, trying to heal my parents and their grief. And I felt like there was this void that was left after he died. And I felt so much pain, but I didn't know how to release it, how to express it. And so with that, I was like, well, I want to help people. And I pursued the medical path and was in my pre-med curriculum, and I was just wondering, why are we focusing so much on symptoms and management, and we're not talking about lifestyle, spirituality, meditation, all these other modalities that are so vital for health? And we have the Hippocratic Oath, but we don't have Hippocrates' statement of let thy food be thy medicine and thy medicine thy food. And I got accepted to medical school, and I remember receiving an acceptance letter, and I just felt a heaviness in my body. And that was the first time at that point that I had determined or just discovered really what interoception was, that my body was speaking to me. And for so long I had this idea of what my intended path should be, how it should look, how it should feel, and it wasn't feeling the way I thought it would. And so with that, I came home to New Mexico and I started to pour into the literature because at this time my mom had been diagnosed with multiple autoimmune conditions and chronic illness, and they wanted to medicate her. And the side effects of these drugs were so horrifying that I was like, no, there's another way. We're going to find another way to heal naturally. Well, then I also began experiencing my own symptoms, which I had been experiencing ever since I was young: digestive health issues, PMS, acne, all these symptoms I had normalized that had just become less subtle and louder. And so I was given medications, I was given synthetic hormones, and I did not go to pick up the prescription. I was determined to heal naturally, and I was like, I don't know what that looks like right now, but I'm going to find that way. I didn't have evidence, I became the evidence, and that's been my path. I pursued yoga teacher training, I did all these different modalities to really grow and discover me and to remember who I am. And it was a journey of becoming. Yes, it began with my health crisis and my mom's health crisis, but that challenge was the greatest catalyst for my growth and evolution. And then it led me to become the wellness architect and lifestyle designer and create embodied wellness. And I see wellness as such a multidimensional approach for multidimensional women. Like, we are so multidimensional. We look at health physically, energetically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. There's so many ways to focus on radiant health, to architect radiant health.
Oh my gosh, so much of what you said speaks so deeply to me. And I really just admire that you had the wisdom back then to say, no, this is what I know that I need, and this is how I'm feeling. Because I mean, you're so right. So many of us can normalize that. I mean, I know I've done that in my past. Like, you normalize it, think everybody experiences this, isn't it just part of life? And then you suppress it and you just keep on going. But the fact that you knew there was something deeper in you that was calling to you, that's pretty profound, especially at that age. It takes many of us years before we realize that. So I commend you for, coming to that call of what you're hearing within you. And can you talk about, like, what was it that allowed you to have that, like, I'm gonna pause and like listen to myself and not fall into the expectations of the outside world?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for those reflections. And I feel like it's just resonant for us, especially as a 6'2" line in human design. For those of you who are familiar with human design, Kelly and I are both 6'2s in our profile. And so with that comes this learning. We go through the fire to then rise as the phoenix, and it's trial by fire. We learn and experience different things so that we can then share. And the more we've experienced, the more we have the wisdom to speak on it. And I had this deep knowing within me, this body wisdom. Your body is the source of your power. Like, you know, because you know, and your body is this incredible technology to tap into truth. And so for me, I've always known, and I know who I am. I know where I'm going. And that part plays out because of my G center being defined in my human design chart, which is this: I know who I am, I know where I'm going kind of feel. So I just knew that there was another way. And I knew that the ways we were seeing and experiencing weren't working. And I was like, the conventional way is not working for so many, and I'm not going to follow that way. I'm going to create an unconventional way. And I've always been unconventional and pioneering in my spirit. So why would I try and conform now?
I love that. And it's like so inspirational for anyone listening. Like, it is so true. Like, you have to know yourself. And I think that's a huge thing, is that we're so disconnected from ourselves. Like, so many of us just disconnect out of a safety response, a lot of times from childhood or things that have happened, that we have this safety, quote, safety that feels safe because we're disconnected, but it's really coming back home to ourselves that allows us to have that freedom to know what's right for us. And so it's so profound.
So profound. And
Mhm.
we look outside us for the answers. But Rumi's quote, and this quote really spoke to me at the beginning of my journey. He says, be silent, listen. First of all, be silent and listen, or
Mhm.
just silent and listen, are the same letters. They contain the same letters, yet they convey different frequencies, different meanings. However, you cannot truly listen if you're not silent. And
Yeah.
so to listen and know that the inspiration, the answers, the wisdom you seek is already within you. It's not
Mhm.
external to you. Your body already knows. You have so much body wisdom. And when you reconnect to your body, you reconnect to your power, to your wisdom, to your truth.
So true. And it reminds me of like the Wizard of Oz. Dorothy looked all outside of herself, trying to get home, trying to get home. How am I going to get home? But she had the ruby slippers all along. And it's only when she realized that she could come back home to herself is like when she actually was able to. So it's just like that. We have that power. We just don't realize that it's within us. So it's so powerful. And
It's
oh, good.
no, it's so
Oh, yeah.
powerful. That's all I was going to reiterate. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to like take this because I know we were just talking about like wealth and like so we talk about health and like coming back home to yourself and knowing that. Can you talk about the role that health and wealth play with each other?
Absolutely. So there's a quote by Virgil, and it's
Mhm,
health is your greatest wealth. Your health is your greatest wealth. And that always felt so resonant to me. And I felt so confounded. Why are we seeing so many people sicker than ever? And
mhm,
there's this pressure to succeed and have this material wealth and financial success, but it's at the detriment to our health. I've seen so many
mhm,
people amass wealth and then it's costed them their wealth. And it didn't make sense to me. I was like, there's a different way. You don't have to compromise your health to create
mhm,
wealth because then I have clients that come to me and they've achieved all this success and financial wealth and they don't feel wealthy. They're so
mhm,
unhealthy, so unhappy. And it's like, well, now I'm going to spend my wealth trying to regain my health, which was the greatest wealth of all. And
mhm,
so for me, I'm really passionate about creating generational health and generational wealth. The two are intermingled. You can build them both at the same time. And the truth is, for me, my health challenges brought me to realize there's so much more to life.
mhm,
And we get so caught up in chasing money and trying to get something and thinking that the money is going to be the secret key to unlock this feeling within us. But there
mhm,
we are chasing something external to us when it's really about how we feel now. It's not about the having of money, it's who we are, the being.
yeah, mhm,
So
yeah.
for me,
You're so right. Yeah.
yeah, it's who we are, and money is an amplifier. It's a mirror. It reveals who we are. It amplifies who we are. And so when we are so focused on the getting and attaining of money and success, it feels empty. But when we're
Mhm,
focused on the becoming, because when we're just focused on money, it's like, well, how do I get money? How do I get rich? How do I do this?
mhm,
But if we focus on the becoming, who am I becoming? Who am I? And we focus on our growth and our evolution and our service, that's when the money comes. And that's
mhm.
when we feel true wealth, the health and the joy and the fulfillment.
You're so right. And then, it's really that we think money is the answer, but it's really, we're not like necessarily seeking the money. It's the feeling that we think the money will give us. It's like that feeling of freedom, wholeness. We think that money is going to give that to us, but it's really that which we can allow ourselves to feel within ourselves. So we have that ability to feel all the feelings that we think money will bring. And that's really like that missing link. But we think like one day when, it's like we keep pushing that forward and we watch our whole life go by thinking that that'll be the answer and it leaves us empty. So yeah.
Exactly. And we're
Mhm.
so focused on do this to have the thing, to be happy.
Mhm.
But the true secret is be happy now, feel gratitude now, then do something from aligned action, from that place
Mhm.
of gratitude of like, okay, I'm going to be and embody this essence because who I'm being allows me to create and take aligned action to then have the thing. It's be,
Yeah.
do, have. We've been
Mhm.
learning it backwards, but that was because of the system and the
Mhm.
conventional schooling system, education system, where we were taught what to think, not how to think. We were
Mhm.
taught to be workers, to
Yeah.
comply and be compliant with the system instead of
Mhm.
to generate ideas and to create and innovate.
100%. We have all these beliefs that we establish, and then we spend much of our life trying to deconstruct those and create new beliefs that we can live differently. And yeah, it becomes this whole challenge of like, we have these things that maybe we don't even realize we're holding on to that are holding us in these patterns. And we're looking at our external circumstances and being like, what am I doing? I'm working my butt off, and I'm still like, in this maybe place of scarcity. Can you talk to somebody like who's listening right now? And they maybe are in that place of like survival mode. They're having a trouble paying the bills. They're looking around them, feeling like there isn't enough to go around. The resources are slim, and they're wondering like, okay, like how do I transition from that place of survival to then that place of that gratitude and abundance?
Absolutely. Well, first, I want them to know that this was the design of the system. This is not your fault. They designed the system to create this sense of struggle and survival instead of this wow, beautiful life and existence and thriving. And so, for anyone listening who's feeling that, it doesn't matter how much money you have, you can still feel lack and scarcity.
Mhm.
Abundance is a frequency, and it's a frequency you can tap into at any time. And it's not about what you have, it's just about noticing what is already good here.
Mhm.
So, where our attention goes, our energy flows. So, if we're focusing on the lack and the not having, and not having enough money, not paying the bill, not being able to pay the bills, not being able to whatever, do what we want to do, we're going to direct all of our energy to that. And that creates this belief in our subconscious mind, which then the subconscious mind communicates to the ego, and the ego creates that reality to confirm that bias, right?
Mhm.
And so we have to be so aware of what are we experiencing, and then look back and say, oh, well, I was expecting scarcity, so then I experienced scarcity. So much of this is actually our focus and our energy. And
Mhm.
then also knowing it's a system and it's designed, but whatever your challenge is around money or whatever you're feeling challenged by is actually a catalyst. I know for me, like money, I've always loved money. I've always been drawn to money, but I didn't come from money. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad was a blue collar worker. He owns his own business, but highly undervalued his services in art and craftsmanship, and wanted to and prided himself on being humble and
Mhm.
middle class. And I always felt the allure of wealth and the abundance and all of these things. And I had these money codes at a young age and would receive $1 at this glass shop I'd go to with my dad when he went to pick up glass for a project or a job he was doing. And then one Valentine's Day, I picked up glass with my father and he gave me a $5 bill. My dad shamed me for receiving that $5 bill. And I was maybe two or three, and $5 at that age,
Mhm.
like money is a frequency. It
Mhm.
is meant to be circulated. It's meant to be loved and enjoyed. And it's like, it's a relationship.
Mhm.
So, what is your relationship with yourself like? What is your relationship to money like? Are you avoidant? Are you withdrawn? Are you shaming money? Are you criticizing money? Because money goes where it's loved and appreciated. And so, simply beginning to see the beauty in your life, thanking the sun for the sunshine that it's pouring onto your skin, thanking the birds for singing, being thankful for what you already have. Gratitude, they say it all the time, and it sounds so cliche sometimes, but true gratitude is thank you. Thank
Mhm.
you. It's so much deeper. It's not just like, yeah, I have this and it's a gratitude list. It's actually acknowledging the people in your life, what you already have that is good, and knowing that where you are does not determine where you're going. The number in your bank account does not determine the future bank account number.
Yeah, beautifully said. And I couldn't agree with you more. And it's those subconscious beliefs that they are so insidious and so elusive. Like it's really hard sometimes to see them beneath the surface because we get so used to them being there. It's hard to realize like what are our beliefs? What was something that helped you uncover your beliefs or something that could help somebody see them for what they are?
Absolutely. I love this so much because so many of the things that we think, the thoughts, the beliefs that we hold, we feel like they're true because we hear them in our voice, but
Hmm.
we don't even stop to question, is this true?
Hmm.
And so often those are not even our truths. And
Hmm.
so questioning them diminishes their power because something can only limit us to the extent that we allow it to limit us. The very things that I felt were limiting me actually became the things that liberated me.
Hmm.
And so when you have those thoughts, it's like, is that even true? If a thought doesn't make you feel good, why would you actually think that thought? Like, why would God, the divine, Mother Nature, the universe, whatever your language, have this beautiful creation that is you,
Hmm.
and then come in and tell you that you're not worthy of wealth, you're not worthy of health, you're not worthy of your desires? Your desires are divine. And so the very fact that you have those desires are very fact, that's the evidence that you need, that you're here to create that, to make that manifest. And it
Hmm.
happens through you. And so when you have those thoughts, just say, is this true?
Mm-hmm.
Because we recode, we are the architects of our wellness, we are the architects of our wealth, we are the architects of our mind, our beliefs. And so many of these beliefs have become so insidious because we have the matrix programming. And what are we allowing into our field, into our mind? Because each thought then generates a feeling, and then that creates that feeling thought, which can compound that and create that vortex. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Abraham Hicks talks about the vortex and the feeling thoughts, and the higher we go on that emotional scale, the more we're in resonance with our desires. But the
Mm-hmm.
matrix has intentionally designed us to stay small in lack and scarcity and fear. But on the two ends of the spectrum or extreme, you have love, trust, faith, or on the other side, fear, doubt, lack. And
Mm-hmm.
so what are you feeling? Like where have those suggestions come in? And is that even true?
Mm-hmm.
What does the frequency of abundance feel like for me right now? And you can even do this little hack with your body and take your left hand and place it over your abdomen on top of your belly button and just say, body, show me what abundance feels like. And breathe. And you start to notice the energy shift of like, oh, body, amplify this feeling of abundance. We recode our body through our words. So, what are the words we're speaking? How are we speaking to ourselves? How are we speaking about our lives? How are we speaking about money? So
Mm-hmm.
when we're speaking about money, like it's hard, it's hard, it's a struggle, and we start to expect that, we then experience it. But
Mm-hmm.
what if it's like, oh, I love that I always have enough. I love that there's money in my account. I love that I have groceries. I love that I can drink this cup of water in this glass or whatever it is. Like infusing love and gratitude into it and coding our reality with our words, because each word has a unique vibrational frequency that then unlocks realities in the quantum field. Knowing that we command our reality through our spoken word is truly powerful.
Absolutely. And I think that's such a huge point because I think we often forget how powerful we are and that it is within us. And we think that, we're just almost victims to our circumstances, but it is within us to embrace that. And I love that you talk about that, showing gratitude for all the money. Like, thank you for the groceries that I was able to buy. Thank you for the gas I could put in my car. And like one thing like I started doing when I realized like my languaging of money was like when I would find a penny, I used to like just walk past the penny, but I like pick it up and be like, thank you for so much for showing me abundance in the world. Like it's just that reminder. It's like the universe is showing you that it is truly abundant. Like that is your birthright. It's just all the gunk that we put on top of it that we think that we are something else or we are deserving of something else other than abundance.
It's crazy. And
Mhm.
it keeps us in this spiral of lack, limitation, scarcity, feeling unworthy, feeling like we're not enough. And worthiness, as you know, and you've studied and experienced and so beautifully articulate, is the foundation for
Mhm.
wealth. Like
100%.
worthy is the foundation for becoming wealthy. And
Yeah.
we're not here to prove our worth. We are worthy because we exist. There's 1 in 400 trillion chances that you would be born, that I would be born, and we are worthy. And so what do we have to prove? Why are we working so hard to try and prove more, to do more, to achieve more, to prove our worth? That's
Mhm.
all fallacy.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like that worthiness just escalates your container, expands your container. So it's like when you think you're not worthy, you have a small container, so you're not going to be able to hold much of that wealth. But as you expand your worthiness, that's when your container blossoms. You can hold much more. The universe will give it to you. It's not going to try to stuff you full of something that you don't have the capacity to hold.
Exactly. And that's the thing with money, that so many of us take the money blueprint that our parents have
Hmm.
or had, or our
Yeah.
ancestors. And it's like, well, in my nervous system, based on my reality up until this point, money didn't feel safe. So the nervous system is designed to keep you safe. So if money doesn't feel safe, why are you going to be attracting more money into your life if it doesn't feel safe to have to hold it?
100%. Yeah, it's so powerful. And like that's just again, the power is within you. It's not like, oh, when I get this job, when I win the lottery, like then I'll see this. You have to start with that belief system. You have to start training yourself to see more of that and have, that capacity to hold it. And for someone who's like saying, okay, like where do I begin? How long is this going to take? Like, what does that look like? Can you talk about your journey of like, when you talked about your childhood and it wasn't this subconscious programming of wealth, like what did that look like along your journey as you started to elevate that and expand that capacity for wealth?
I think it's such an interesting contemplation because I feel like I made money the source of it all for so long. I was so focused on the money because I felt like when I asked for something I wanted when I was young and I would be told no, it was because we don't have money or it's too expensive or you can't have what you desire. So that was like this false coding that I coded into my biology and my belief. And so as I grew up, I was like, wow, this isn't even true. And then I went on my path and left medicine. And I grew up in a family where debt is bad, but I had some student loans that my mom paid off for me. So I'm grateful for that. But I didn't have a lot of loans because I was, I had these amazing scholarships. But then there was this frequency around money where it was like I would work really hard for the money I earned, but then I just started calibrating. Like I knew what felt good in my money in my body to receive. I was like, yeah, $25 an hour, that's perfect. Like that felt good. And so then I manifested this job at a lab where I was like making $25 an hour. And that was the initial point where I was like, okay, now I'm just getting in and I'm in the workforce, but I'm also investing in myself. So I've been investing in myself from the beginning. I've invested as much time, energy, resources into my growth over the last 7.5 years, which I call my personalized PhD, to
Mhm.
become the individual, the leader, the mentor, the wellness architect that I am. Because
Mhm.
I believe in learning from the best. I believe in collapsing time and I believe in the power of calibrating to the leaders that you want to aspire to be like, to emulate, to feel that power. And so I've invested over 200,000 in the last few years
Mhm.
in myself. And so one thing that's been interesting is focusing on the money that I'm investing and seeing that not as luxury, but lack because it's not in my bank account feeling like, well, I should have this because I've been doing this for so long, so it should look different. And we're arguing with reality instead of seeing, like, wow, look who I've become. We're measuring the wrong area. We're measuring the numbers on the screen, the bank account, instead of the person you become. And my mentor, Melanie, so eloquently says, money is a byproduct of the person you become. And I always say, like we were saying earlier, focus on who. Focus on you, who you are becoming rather than how to get money, how to do this, how to get
Mhm.
rich. And so as I started to focus more on, wow, I'm learning and I'm investing in myself and seeing it as not lack, but this ability to leverage
Mhm.
this debt, because I took on debt for the first time and a while back and I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. And I was judging myself. But I also am a sixth line. So I learned through that experience of the plethora. What does it
Mhm.
feel like to have debt? What does it feel like to feel burdened by debt and feel like I can't do anything, like I'm confined and caged and not free? And then realizing that debt doesn't confine me. Like at one point, I was like, I never had more debt and I've never felt more free. It
Mhm.
doesn't limit us, it doesn't need to. We only allow that something that we something that comes into our reality or into our field and we're like, yeah, that limits me. It can only limit you to the extent that you allow it. So
Mhm.
as I started to liberate myself from that and we focus elsewhere and just it's so much of like small refinements of like, okay, this is luxury, this is beautiful, this is an investment and seeing it differently rather than, oh, debt is so shameful, it's so bad. It's this recoding of debt creates opportunity. Debt
Mhm.
is a blessing. It's
Mhm.
debt is an invoice for a blessing already received, as Kate
Mhm.
Northrup
Oh,
says.
I like that. It's a good
Yeah,
one.
it's a good
Yeah.
one because then it
Mhm.
recodes it in our field. It's like it's creating an opportunity that didn't otherwise exist.
Mhm.
And over time, like it's going to have multiple 10x return on
Mhm.
investment. Why
Yeah.
are we not investing in ourselves? So for
Mhm.
me, my money journey has been so complex because I've gotten to experience the contrast, which
Mhm.
gives me that empathy and understanding to speak on all areas of it and feel all the emotion, the stress, the guilt, all of these things where it's like, wow. And they program us with fear. We're
Mhm.
more manipulatable when we are feeling fear and
Mhm.
lack, scarcity, fear. Those are all lower vibrational frequencies that are encoded in fear.
100%. And yeah, I love that contrast because it's like now you understand the whole gamut of it, but like it's like that duality of like the abundance and the scarcity. You can have it, you have that abundance of like the investment in yourself, but then you're saying like the scarcity in your bank account, but like which one do you choose to focus on? So there's so much beauty in that. And like there's that duality and everything. Like I talk a lot about like the grief and the joy, they coexist, but like it just knowing that it's not and either or, it's and both and. And
Yeah.
can coexist, but that's all that like evolution of life, and just to like trust the process and lean into it and see the growth in yourself. I think that's really the most beautiful part of that journey, is recognizing the growth and that investment in yourself. I'm such a huge advocate for investing in yourself, because I don't think enough women do it. I think it's that self-sacrifice, put everybody's needs before my own, but it's really that investment in yourself that you can see your potential and you can be large and be the one that you are designed to be, not keep yourself small and in a place of a stifling existence.
Yes, I couldn't
Yeah.
agree more. I completely agree. And we're not taught that our health is our greatest investment. We're not taught that investing in ourselves and our becoming and our growth is the best investment. We're
Mhm.
taught to go to school, get a job, work a 9 to 5, invest in a 401k, which is limited and capped, and I won't go
Yep.
into that. But there's
Yep.
so many limitations and code and people, we just okay, follow what everyone else is saying. And if we deviate from that, we're wrong, we're shamed, but it's by design because it creates complacency. It creates this mechanism of control instead of saying, wow, what if we empower women? Because women are so powerful and they've disconnected us from our bodies intentionally because they know how powerful we are and they know how powerful our bodies are. When we're connected to our bodies, we're embodied and empowered, we're unstoppable.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yes, I love that. And like one big eye, I don't know if you read that Rich Dad Poor Dad, that book was so eye-opening to see how much we've been indoctrinated to live in this scarcity mindset, and just realizing all the opportunity, and to not follow the masses. You have to follow your heart and what you think is aligned with you. And I would love to hear your perspective on that, because for someone who's listening, they're in like that 9 to 5 or more hours than that,
Yeah.
and they're feeling like they're strapped. There's a lot of fear of like, I want something different. I want to pursue my own passions, but how do I leave this certainty of the paycheck that I'm getting right now? What would be something that could help guide them? Of course, listen to their own self, but like what else could help guide them in that?
Absolutely. Infuse your life with joy and curiosity now. Like follow those curious passions that you have. I always love what Liz Gilbert says, live a curious life. And so whenever I see a hummingbird, I think of her because I think of living curiously. Like the hummingbird doesn't just stay fixed in one place. It
Mhm.
flutters from flower to flower and moves with curiosity and grace.
Mhm.
So I have done some crazy things in my life. I have quit jobs. I had no backup. I was
Mhm.
like, I can't be here. This is stifling me. I quit. I didn't have a plan. But I also recognize the value of nervous system regulation.
Mhm.
And so for you, if it doesn't feel like it's time to leap, you don't know what the next step is, set the intention of I am committed to my becoming. I am committed to embodying my fullest, truest potential and living my purpose. And what is that going to be today? What is that going to be that I learn today? What can I learn? What can I read? What will really quench that desire, that voracious hunger for more? Like maybe it's going to a museum, maybe it's going to see art, maybe it's listening to music, maybe it's learning an instrument or a language. There are just so many different things. I know for me, my path was so curious. It was like, okay, I was really interested in nutrition and I did this integrated nutrition health coaching program. And then I got really into yoga. And so I did a yoga teacher training. And then I heard the word embodiment and I was like, what is that? And I knew that I had lived so disconnected from my body, but I followed the thread, that golden thread of inspiration that led me to embodiment. I was like, okay, embodiment, breath work. Like I need to pursue breath. And so then it was just one thing after the next. When the oracle is ready, the path appears. When you're ready, the path appears. The fact that you're not feeling good in your body, in your life, in your finances, in your career is a sign that you're here to realign and reinvent.
Mhm.
And pivoting is powerful. You're not designed to stay there. You're, I have so much to say on this, but like we get into this rut feeling like we can't move until we have a certain thing. But it's like
Mhm.
making these micro moves. And it's like if you imagine a plus sign, now you see that plus sign and you're like, okay, well, I have to transform my life and everything has to be different right now. Well, we do a 360-degree turn and we're back at the plus sign.
Mhm.
So we think we have to do more out here to create more results, but then we're still back here. What if we do 90-degree? Well, it's still a plus sign.
Mhm.
So my mentor Melanie talks about the 45-degree shift,
Mhm.
which is the plus sign becoming a multiplication sign, and that's exponential. And
Mhm.
Tony Robbins speaks about this too. It's the millimeter shift, and Atomic Habits speaks about the 1% change that compounds over time. So it's not about upending your life like I've done myself, but it's like you can do it incrementally and just
Yeah.
one step in that direction, the universe responds, but you go first. If you're waiting
Yeah.
for something to happen, nothing's going to happen because you are so powerful and you're the co-creator and you're the architect of your reality, your existence. So taking that first step, it's like you take the step and the path appears, but we're waiting for the path to appear before we even walk. But the next step isn't revealed until we've already taken the first step.
Yeah, so beautifully said. Oh my gosh, I love that. And I love that you brought the word curiosity because I think that's something that we've lost because of the fear and like
Right.
and the curiosity too. But like, what would this look like? What would it look like if I take that step? Like, and I can very like that was very much my path. Like I didn't know where I was going, but I just like took the next step and then like just like you described, oh, let me go into this route. Oh, okay, that aligns. Let me try this. But like having that like curiosity, like we see it in children. Like I have two young kids and like I see it all the time. They're trying new things. Like they're just like so full of life because they have a curiosity, but that becomes so tampered when we become adults. And I think that's really a big missing piece. So I love that you brought that up. And I think that's a huge part that if someone's listening, it's just like, okay, how can I live this day with a little bit more curiosity? Such a
Yeah.
great question to ask and to move forward with.
Yes, and do it for you. Focus on you. I would start with human design. When I learned my human design, that transformed my life. I
Yeah.
I feel so seen, so understood, and it gave me guidance of knowing how I make decisions, knowing when I'm in alignment, knowing what to do and like how I operate, how I communicate, just revealing aspects of myself, helping me to remember who I am.
Mhm.
Personal growth and development is not so much about fixing yourself. Like I approached it that way, seeing myself as broken. That's the design of the system that's very
Mhm.
flawed because it keeps us chasing something instead
Mhm.
of recognizing that we are inherently whole and worthy.
Yeah.
And so when we see it as I am growing and I am becoming, what else can
Mhm.
I experience? Who else can I become? And it's like, okay, I'm going to learn about myself because as I learn about myself, then I transform my
Mhm.
existence, my reality.
Mhm.
Anything is possible. And personal growth is more of a remembrance and
Yeah.
reconnecting to who you've always been and know yourself to be because you are here by divine design. You're
Mhm.
here for a specific purpose, a specific reason, and the reason you're feeling unfulfilled in your life is not coincidental. It's a
Mhm.
sign from your soul urging you to expand and
Mhm.
experience more, which you are here for more. We're here like nature grows, trees grow. When they
Mhm.
stop growing, they die.
Mhm.
We are here to grow and evolve. And if we're
Yeah.
not, we get complacent and stuck, and then we're in these loops that create negative feedback, and we're just feeling
Mhm.
so powerless and disconnected from our
Yeah.
essence, from our joy. And we're programmed with media and all of these things and the food.
Mhm.
And it's just this whole cycle that once you step out of it, you remember your power.
Mhm. Oh, absolutely. And there's such a feeling of like that knowing, like you know who you are. And when you do have those experiences, you're like, oh, you feel like you're home again. There's like a sense of comfort that like, oh, this is what I've missed for all these years. And it just feels like so good. But you can see like I've been very much on the other side too, that distortion where you're like so lost and very disconnected. So when again, that contrast when you've lived like that and then you have those glimpses of what it feels like to be you and your true essence, it's just like you want more, more, more. So it's not that like effort driven process. It's like, oh, I want more of that. That felt good. I know this is who I'm meant to be. It's such a beautiful process.
Right. It's so beautiful. And like you said, like you come out of alignment a little bit. We experience that contrast to clarify that which we
Yeah.
desire. So much of my life is been experiences, what I perceived as mistakes or failures and contrast, experiencing that which I don't want to clarify what I do desire. And
Mhm.
so just know that you're experiencing something that you don't want. Well, it doesn't mean you're fixed there. Like you're not a tree. You can go transplant yourself elsewhere, but you can move. You can experience something different.
Mhm.
Will you
Yeah.
allow yourself to?
Yeah. That's such a good question. It's like something we can all ask, like, will I allow myself to do this? It's like, well, that's a powerful question right there because we hold ourselves back. I mean, there's a quote I just saw. It's like when you get to the peak of a mountain, you realize that the obstacle was not the mountain, it was you. And
Yes, The
that's
Mountain Is
it.
You by Brianna White.
Oh, it's so good. I've read that. It's so good. I could read that again and again. But there's yeah, that's it. You don't. you don't realize how much you are anchoring yourself down until you start to have that curiosity and start taking the action steps to pursue that. It's beautiful. One thing I want to get into, because I'm curious and I think, it'd be really great to hear about. I know you talk about the cryptocurrency. Can you talk about that and just like, what does that look like? 'Cause I think I mean, we've heard the terms, but it's maybe like, and for me, it's like, what is that and how do we get into that? And it can feel really daunting if you don't have that knowing about it.
Absolutely. So this is something my mentor told me I would be mentoring on wealth at some point. And she told me this 4 months ago. I didn't think I would be doing it now. I thought it was going to be later on down the line. But I have always felt something so strong in me about the vision I hold for the world. It's so different beyond the vision, the current reality we're currently experiencing, right? And that's why we're here. We're visionaries. We're pioneering a new way, and we're here to create something new and true that serves humanity, that allows us to thrive, not merely survive. And so for me, I felt the call to crypto 5.5 years ago, but I didn't listen to my intuition. I was about to invest in mentorship with my mentor and her crypto mentor. And had I done that, I would have had, an incredible multi-million-dollar portfolio. However, I learned the lesson of not listening to my intuition. And then I felt the call last year. So I began consciously seeking mentorship. And I'm currently in 3 masterminds and learning from incredible experts within the space. But for me, cryptocurrency is not conspiracy. It's a divine prophecy. The financial system as we've known it is cracking. It's antiquated. It's slow. It's a fractional reserve banking system where they take 90% of your money and they loan it out. They're making money on your money and you're just letting your money sit there. It's not growing. We need to work smarter, not harder. We need to invest wisely to grow wealth exponentially. So I have always loved money and wealth, and I call myself a wealth activator. When you expand your awareness of what's possible, others see that and we become expanders and it ripples outward. So for me, cryptocurrency is not conspiracy. It's the future. It's not speculation. It's the foundation. It's already been set. The new system is ready. And they've been distracting us with media, with war, politics, all these different things. While these systems crumble, a new system's already set. We've already seen the infrastructure phase take root with cryptocurrency. Now we're in regulation. So you have the Genius Act that just passed. We had Crypto Week, July 14th through what is that? The 20th. That whole week was Crypto Week. It was signed in that Friday, the 18th. And Genius Act was, and that just gives more clarity for stable coins, more clarity for regulation. With regulation comes more institutional adoption. So there are big partnerships already where institutions, banks are adopting cryptocurrencies. You see Dubai, they're very future focused. They're already transacting with crypto. Now, I know cryptocurrency can feel so hard and it's people are like, well, it's so risky, it's so volatile. 95% of the population has yet to invest in crypto. It's optional right now, but it's soon going to become mandatory because it's going to be the new currency. You look at the internet in 2002 when 560 million people were using it. Now look at it today. There was a lot of resistance to it. There's a lot of resistance to crypto, but there's more sovereignty with crypto. There's more stability. There's more security because it's backed by something. It's utility based, depending on the coins you invest in, because there are like 21,000 cryptocurrencies. And of those, maybe 99% are going to be eliminated after regulations are passed because we're focusing on a utility-based market. Now, that means that cryptocurrencies are coming in and they're solving a problem. There actually is a need for this cryptocurrency. They're solving something that's been needing addressing in the system. 5% of the population is currently invested. We are positioned in such an extraordinary time. This is the greatest wealth transfer of our time. And when we know where to invest, how to position ourselves, we not only create financial freedom for ourselves, but generational wealth. And this ripples out. And when we have the money, we have the power to create a new world, to create a new way. And so this is why I'm so passionate right now, because this is the time. Like there's never been a better opportunity. The risk to reward ratio has never been better. Risk has never been lower. Reward has never been higher. Yeah. Now, even one of my clients recently invested. There are ways to invest your IRA, your Roth, the IRA, traditional, whatever it is, 401k into custodianship with cryptocurrency and invested there. They invested 35,000 and it already grew to 57,000. It's like a 47% return in the last 6 weeks. whereas that would only be like 7% annually.
Yeah. Wow.
And so there's so much around finance because I, as a woman, felt like, oh my God, finance is so hard. It's so masculine. It's so unapproachable. I don't understand it. I'm not good with money. All these narratives about money and feeling like I'm financially illiterate instead of being like, okay, everything feels hard at first because because it's new. When it's new, it doesn't feel familiar. And so it can feel overwhelming and daunting and technical. But for me, it's riskier not to invest in crypto than to invest. And truly, our fiat system is crumbling. It's not backed by anything. It's inflationary. So they continue to print money, but it's no value. It's decreased in value. The US dollar has decreased in value 99% over the last 100 years. You have these deflationary assets, meaning there's a fixed supply of them, and only a certain amount exists ever. They're not going to reprint, they're not going to remint them. So every year they're growing in value as supply decreases and demand increases, they appreciate in value. They're becoming more valuable. And so you're not just holding the keys to the future, you're holding literal value that's going to set you up for freedom and to be able to create a life you truly desire. So this is something I'm so passionate about because so many of us are like, well, it's too hard. It doesn't feel aligned. Now it doesn't feel like time. It feels risky. It feels volatile. It's too intimidating. Whatever the narratives are, those are by design to distract people because they want people in the old system and to fear the new. But what is the evolution of CDs? We have Spotify now.
Right.
We have such an antiquated system. Like the future is now. Have you read that book?
No, I
Heard
haven't.
it? Okay, I highly recommend it. I've been starting to read it and it's phenomenal. Like the future is here. Crypto's not in some distant future. It's already here and they've already woven it into the system. It's just a matter of when, not if. So it's time for us to position ourselves accordingly and to become the embodied, worthy, wealthy women that we're here to be. Because worth is inherent in all of us. We get to choose if we want to have that kind of wealth. With that kind of wealth comes great power, great responsibility, great leadership, but we are being called into our power, into our leadership. And it's time for us to become financially sovereign, financially aware, financially literate, and see what's going on.
I appreciate everything you share because it's like it's so, like a lot of times you hear those things. It is very masculine energy. It can feel very like, whoo, that feels like way too much to take in. But like hearing it the way you describe it, it's like feels so much more approachable. Like this is something that like, okay, like how do I do it versus like, nope, just like keep it away. But like for someone who's like listening and I know you talked about the other person investing like 35,000. Is it something that you need a lot of money up front to do? Or like what does that look like for someone who wanted to start getting into it?
It's whatever feels comfortable for you. For me, like right now is the time, like this window, the opportunity here, anything is better than nothing.
Yeah.
That I am here for long term. I'm not here to day trade. I'm not here for midterm holding trading. I'm here for long term holding and investing because I know the value of these assets and it's going to appreciate over time and just grow exponentially. So, for someone who wants to start with $10, $100, whatever feels feasible, it's so important. Yeah. Begin where you can, what feels good. That's what I love about what I'm doing right now is it's not just about having the wealth, but who you become, the becoming journey. It's not just getting wealthy, but holding it and growing it and creating something extraordinary through your wealth because income amplifies your impact. The more income and wealth you have, the more impact you have. And so for me, it's very purpose driven. It's very aligned and it's very conscious and intentional with growing wealth because it's not just frivolous. It's not just for fun's sake. It's for intention. It's for change.
Yeah, I love that. And it's like, I think Mila talks about like, are you going to be the one? Like, you can literally change your entire line. You could be the one. It's just like you have to take that action to change what your family line has experienced. You could be the one who starts pulling in that wealth into your family line. You could be the one that pulls into health and everything. So it's like so powerful when you realize that like you literally have this opportunity to be the one that changes
You
everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are the one.
I love that. For someone who wanted to connect with you, learn more about your services, where can they find you?
They can find me on my Instagram at I am Anna Finck. That is IAM Anna, ANNAFINCK. And I'm most on Instagram. You can book a call, a clarity call. You can book a call to speak with me if you have questions about cryptocurrency and you want to begin and you're not sure where to begin. I have a masterclass that I did, Decrypted, Decoding Crypto, which I broke down, and I'm bringing in energetics and embodiment and mind architecture and belief architecture and feminine embodied practices to really support us in becoming the worthy, wealthy women we're designed to be. And I just opened doors. Today was our first day in this mastermind, Worthy, Wealthy Women. And it's extraordinary. The transformation that I already feel happening in this space where these people came in because they trusted me. They didn't come in because they trust crypto yet because it's still feeling so new, but because I have so much certainty and because I have been learning and in the vortex with it, and I have so much conviction in the future and what's coming, they're like, I trust Anna, I'm going in. Like they already are experiencing so much transformation and they're feeling so held and they're saying, wow, like this is what I wanted to hear because I'm glad it's not just about the investing and getting wealthy. It's the becoming. It's about growing me. It's about calibrating my nervous system and doing all this other energetic alignments to hold it.
Yeah, I love that. And I'll put everything in the show notes. So it's been amazing speaking with you and just all the value that you've brought and how we can literally transform our lives from the inside out and all the aspects to that and how empowering that is to realize that, like, here we have a moment to really be a catalyst to move ourselves forward. So thank you.
Oh, it's so profound. Thank you. And we'll give them a link to the Decrypted Masterclass. That'll be a gift to them to just come in and get a taste for crypto in this new way. And it's been an honor. Thank you so much for this conversation. You're such an incredible human, leader, woman, and it's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. It's been such an honor to have you on, and I will put that link in the show notes. So definitely check it out and learn more about crypto, empower yourself. It all starts with that knowledge, and then you can take action after that. So thank you again, Anna. It's been such a pleasure. And for everyone who's listening, if you found value in this, share this episode with somebody else who could really gain value from it. It's only through sharing these messages that we can really evolve and expand through our consciousness. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. If there was something in this episode that really resonated with you or a message that stuck with you, please share it with someone else. It's only through sharing these messages that we can start to rewire our minds to feel empowered and live the life that we truly desire. Please subscribe so you never miss an episode. And again, thank you so much for tuning in to Rewiring Health.